What's up, guys? We are live. Happy Tuesday. Dave and Auken Elle Dawson. Elle, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited for this week. UFC Miami is here. We had an awesome week at PFL last week. I'm just happy to be here.
How crazy is it that the PFL is in Orlando on Friday, UFC Saturday in Miami? Great time to be alive. Great show. Myself and Elle all for 2 hours. We have Liz Carmouche coming on in 35 seconds. We got Molly McCann coming on the next hour. First time ever being on this show. Gillian, like always. It's going to be a good one, Elle. Can't wait.
I'm pumped. Let's do it.
All right. Well, she's been in that 35-second window long enough. So pumped. We talked to her before. She's been gracious to us. Can't wait to get into Orlando tomorrow. We got media day, then weigh-ins, and then, of course, fight night for PFL Orlando. Probably the face of female MMA in the PFL right now. Let's introduce Liz Carmouche. Liz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Are you in Orlando yet?
I am. Yeah, I actually got here on Saturday night.
Oh, nice. Got you. Got PFL. Got you in early. First of all, how's everything going? How's life going? How's the, going into another world tournament? How's Liz Carmouche right now in 2025?
I'm feeling good. It's been a smooth camp. I train out of San Diego and Virginia Beach, both of which, both coaches, both teams. We feel really prepared for this fight, especially going into the season.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. At the end of the season last year, obviously you had the first weight hiccup we've ever seen in your career. You've always been so professional with the cut. How do you feel this time around? Obviously having to cut weight a little bit less this season and having these fights a little bit more spread out.
Yeah. So this time I hired a nutritionist rather than doing things on my own, to where, I'm starving myself. We're killing it, trying to do the sauna and still nothing's coming off and just cooking my brain for 4 hours. I hired a nutritionist and so far everything's going great. And I just have confidence that she has everything and I'll just be the good Marine that follows the entire plan and doesn't stray from that. So I'm just going to let them take the wheel, and I trust that everything will go a lot smoother.
You brought up being a good Marine. Are you the kind of fighter that I want to be told what to do? I know I like to know everything from my coaches. I want do X, Y, Z. Is that your style of training camp?
Yeah, kind of. I definitely don't like to watch tape on opponents and stuff. I end up overhumanizing, giving them way too much credit. It could be the worst fighter in the world. I'll be like, well, they could do this and beat me. And it's like, no, that's ridiculous. So I definitely like them to study everything. And yeah, of course, at the end of the day, I'm still a hard-headed Marine. So if you say, hey, go in there and front flip kicker, I'll be like, okay, go in and front flip kick. That's what you said to do, and that's what I do. So it certainly makes life a lot easier when we have a game plan going in.
We have a comment I think we should throw up on the screen just because somebody missed the news. Unfortunately, we're not going to see this fight this season, Jake. It says Liz versus Tyla final. Tyla Santos is out of the tournament. How did you take this news? Were you looking forward to meeting her again, possibly in this tournament?
Yeah, honestly, I'm super bummed about it. For one, I was really excited to see Velasquez versus Santos. That looked like such a good matchup.
Yeah.
That I was excited as a fight fan to see it. So super disappointed that we don't get to. Hoping that everything with her is okay. I have no idea what happened. But of course, I'm thinking, all right, we'll be in the finals. I'll rematch. I'll get redemption back. And now I'm like, I don't get to close that door. It's a lose-lose. So it's definitely difficult, but I'm sure that PFL will line up a great opponent that can replace her.
With that being said, Liz, you sound like, man, you really wanted that, the redemption. Would you be like, hey, if you win this thing or when you win this thing, 500K, 3 wins in a row, life's still good, right? Are you still happy? No doubt about it. That's, without Talia Santos.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, winning and just coming out on top, that's, the ultimate win.
Yeah.
But it just would have been so much sweeter to have that cherry on top to take that win over Santos, especially in the finals. But hey, I'm just happy to be with PFL. I still have a job. I'm still fighting. I still have a chance to showcase everything that I want to.
Talking about the PFL, I was going to say this year with it not having a season, it's a tournament. We were there last week. It was great. And also, to be honest, it felt different. It really did feel more pressurized. Some of the fighters, we saw some of the bigger names maybe lose the first round, and you can tell them amp up right away. They're like, because you can't lose, 2 rounds and then come back. It puts more pressure on each round, almost even each position. Did you see that? Did you watch the first weeks, and did you feel that all through the screen, or were you kind of getting ready just for your fight?
Yeah, definitely getting ready for my fight. I had to catch it kind of after. And yeah, there's definitely that added pressure, but I honestly feel like there was more pressure before when you're like, man, I won the first round, but I didn't win fast enough. So I may not actually advance. Like, that's an insane idea. This is a little bit easier knowing that if for some reason she's able to survive out of the first round, I'm not over there going, oh no, I'm not going to advance. Like, I can still win in the second round and come out on top. So it kind of takes a little bit of the stress off. I'm still gunning for the fastest finish that I can possibly get, like I've been trying to do, but not having that added pressure is certainly nice.
Sure.
And a lot of these girls are incredibly tough to finish. I think we see that more in the female divisions. So that is kind of an added pressure that some of the female fighters may have over some of the male divisions. Do you,
Exactly.
You said you're like, I'm still fighting. You didn't make any allusions to the possibility of this being your last season, but 41 years young, how many more times do you want to do this?
You know, as long as they'll let me, you know, is I think until I do something that PFL really doesn't like, you know, coming out on top and being able to win this tournament, come out of it with the belt, it's certainly a great stamp on the chapter of everything I'm trying to achieve. But I'm still healthy. You know, stem cells have carried me a long way, and I do things a lot smarter than I did in the early days. And I think that I'm just a late bloomer. So we're kind of later into the career that I'm having the successes and finding achievements that I couldn't find early in my career.
Liz, did you see that you've been elevated to the co-main event spot of this Friday's card? And you've done so much pay-per-views, Ron, everything else. You've done so much in the sport. Does that matter to you at all? Do you care? Is it just a later bedtime for you that night? But did you see that you've been elevated to the co-main event spot?
Yeah, when I saw and heard the rumor that Santos was out, I was like, oh, what do you want to bet? I'm just going to get slid up to the main card, which is great, except that, like, I have my 9-year-old son, I have my wife, who are both like, that is too late, and they're coming out for the fights.
Yeah.
And then me looking at it, I was like, I don't get to have like a happy meal after the fight when it's 2:00 in the morning, nothing's opening, and I'm not, Denny's isn't going to satisfy me. Like, I want something really good. And so honestly, I was like, if there was a pay bump with that, like they used to do in the old days, where like where your standing was on the card is depending on how you got paid. Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Sure.
But when it changes nothing and just kind of everybody's like, wait, she got moved? That's so late. I'm like, yeah, sorry guys. Like, like that.
Maybe we'll have to have a pizza waiting for you in the media room.
I was going to say, Liz, they had good food. We were there last week in Orlando. They had good food in the media room and where you guys are backstage. So I think there'll be a good snack for you for sure.
Yeah.
The last thing, at least for me, actually I got 2 or 3 more things, but one, I do want to there's a big elephant, I think, in the room of female PFL MMA, and that's Dakota Ditcheva. She was even talked about last week, and it was 2 men's weights kind of fighting. What's your thoughts on Dakota? Do you know, or do you have any information of not in it? What's going on with her and her future of this year?
Yeah, I at least know that for this tournament, she's not in it, right? Like, right. If she wasn't included as a name on this card, that's it, unless they magically are putting like some weight class at the end. But, you know, I could get from her point. This is simply what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. But I imagine what they're trying to do is she wants to take some time off. She won 2 tournaments back to back, right? She now doesn't have that doubt about what she's able to achieve. She's silenced everybody. So why not take a little bit of the break? And then at the end of the year, maybe it's champion versus champion. We'll see, which is kind of my guess. Or she could be making that transition to the UFC like we know that Kayla did, and being her teammate, that could be that. But I think with everything she's doing promotionally for the PFL and still broadcasting her success and her happiness with them, I think it could be champion on champion later in the year.
You spoke on your disappointment not being able to redeem yourself over Taila Santos. Would being able to step up at the end of this tournament to fight Dakota, who finished Taila, would that be enough for you to be able to get that opportunity?
That would be amazing. You know, I love the opportunity to face new people and face new talent. And what she's shown is that she's not a slouch on the ground. Everybody wasn't sure where she stood. And what she did prove is she is a force to be reckoned with there. So that makes it a lot more exciting on the prospect of like going toe to toe with their standing against the cage on the ground, as opposed to like, well, if you go to the ground, we know it's done. So maybe I want to keep it standing a little bit longer. No, this like leaves the idea that it could be really exciting no matter where it goes. So that would be a really great matchup.
Shout out. Question with that, even kind of comment. Do you, to me, it's a great honor to be like, hey, you are definitely this transition and pioneer of female MMA and the next evolution. Girls like Dakota Ditcheva, even girls like Auken Elle Dawson, who's fighting on the way up and getting into these big organizations. How is it? Do you you carry that with love and respect? Is it something like, hey, it's not for me to do that, I'm just a fighter? Where are you at on kind of being a pioneer of just female MMA as a whole?
So it's kind of a little bit of both. So in one sense, it's like, all right, cool. Like, it's cool that I get to represent this and that I have any play in it, because I never saw myself becoming that. And the other part's like, cool, if I have to be the first loss on your record and I have to welcome you to that feeling, but no better person to do it than me. Like, I am ready to keep doing that for people, because it always seems like I get in those positions like, oh, they have this undefeated fighter. How? I don't think that Liz is going to have any success against her. And then I'm like, well, now I'm the only loss on your record, or the first loss on your record. Sure. So I always welcome the opportunity to come out and to be the one to hand that to them.
Love it.
I love that.
Oh, anything else?
Just looking at not just the other side of the bracket, but the other side of the smart cage from you this upcoming week is Alara Joanne, who has already fought against some of the girls in the tournament. Like she's lost to, obviously Tyla is no longer in the tournament, but she lost to Tyla, she lost to Jenna Bishop, and she lost to Kana Watanabe as well, I believe. So seeing how, I know there's some time has passed, does that give you just immense confidence going into this tournament, knowing that you've competed and done better against some of the same competition she has? Or do you see that she is evolving?
Yeah, I definitely see that she's evolving. And if there's one thing I've learned is MMA math doesn't math up. 2 + 2 does not equal 4. So often I face an opponent, I'm like, on paper, this is easy. And we go out there, I'm like, why was that so difficult? I don't understand. This should have been easy, knock out the park. And then we're having this hard fight. And I've seen her around, and I know from just hearing from other people, she's putting in the work. So I know that she's growing and she's ready and she's learned from the mistakes and trying to go out there and prove a point. But I'm ready to smash her.
Love it. Love it. Liz, we always love talking to you. I'll be at Media Day tomorrow and the weigh-ins. Elle will be at the fights Friday night. So after you win, you guys can meet up. She'll get you the pizza for the whole family and everything. So we'll lock that in for Liz. We'll have a Liz Carmouche pizza ready for you. All right. We'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Awesome. We'll have a great fight week and smooth weigh-ins for the next couple of days. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you
awesome.
so much,
You too, Liz. Thank you. Liz Carmouche.
Always a class act.
Huh?
I said always a class act. Like just represents the sport so well.
Very true. All right. Liz was on the thing right away. Dude, I don't know if you guys can see. Florida Gators, national champions last night. Me and the boys went out. We went out to a bar and watched the game as like young 20-year-olds would do. It was a great time. So Gators won the national championship. March Madness is over. Gators won. Very happy, Elle. Very happy.
Love to hear it. The only reason I know when March Madness is because it's in the name.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I'm glad Florida won. Let's go.
I couldn't believe you're not wearing the a Houston shirt. That's who they played in the championship last night.
No, it's Pittsburgh, Kansas wrestling is what I'm wearing.
Wow. It's actually a nice shirt. Nice shirt. All right, guys. Welcome to UFC 314 week, a mega pay-per-view, Miami, Florida. Feels like the UFC loves Miami. It's been 3 cards in a row, very high-end cards. Main event, we will crown a new featherweight world champion, we assume. Co-main event to me is becoming a little bit of the people's main event with Patty the Batty Pimlet versus Michael Chandler. Everyone's really excited for that fight. Gene Silva's on the card. Yair Rodriguez versus Pitbull. Come on, take my money. Love it, Elle. I'm so excited for UFC 314.
No, I'm absolutely pumped, top to bottom. Like even going into the prelims, you have Mitch Raposo fighting Sue Maderji, like 2 flyweights that are never, ever, ever boring. Like top to bottom, I think this card is going to be so fun. You have Darren Elkins on the card, Jim Miller on the card. And I think these are going to be, I love both these guys. They're phenomenal veterans of the sport, but I think they they are going to be on the losing side of these fights this weekend. I think this is going to be Juliana Rosa and Chase Hooper's moment this weekend.
Well, I'm happy you said that right off the rip. That's a good one, Elle. I did see my first thought was with Chase Hooper. I saw a great tweet. Oh, I should have screenshotted it and saved it for us. They showed a picture of Jake Paul, and the tweet was about how Chase Hooper is defeating Clay Guida and Jim Miller. And it says Chase Hooper is doing the Jake Paul method in UFC. I was like, come on, it's ridiculous. It was funny.
And in his defense, Chase Hooper did not get an easy road when he first got into the UFC. I don't even mind him beating some of these veterans now. Like, they gave him some killers right off the bat, and he took some damage. I think that's very interesting. I think Diego Lopez's best chance to win is it not even seeing a third round. I highly doubt we see him win a decision. I think this is a very competitive fight, guys. I really do. I think because of Diego's danger, I think Volkanovski is the better fighter. But the longer the fight goes, the harder this fight gets for Diego Lopez.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to go with. You mentioned a term us old heads can say old heads, right, in the prelims. How about the co-main and main event? And I just want to talk about Michael Chandler and Alexander Volkanovski, headliners, champions, but a little bit older in their age, and they're fighting Diego Lopez and Patty the Batty Pimblett. To me, this next generation, more flair, louder on the microphone, maybe even Patty excited. It seems like it's a perfect old head versus new head, new school, old school, and I'm really intrigued to see where it goes. I think in a weird way, I'm leaning both, maybe myself as an older guy, I'm leaning both towards Chandler and Volkanovski on the older side. But as we're talking about the main event, guys, I love Volkanovski in this spot. I don't know why. To me, I haven't seen it with Diego Lopez. I just haven't. Like, he fought a top 5, top 3 guy and lost. I know it was on short notice. I totally understand. But we've seen fighters win on short notice. Like, we've seen it's not like you can't win that fight.
The poster boy for that. Steve Erceg coming into the rankings in his debut, Yeah. I agree. We haven't seen that from Diego Lopez, and maybe he has it because he's just so dangerous. Like, he really is. He's a chaotic guy, and that being able to create chaos and thrive in that chaos is a skill in this sport.
It is.
And maybe he can do that. I think I expect to see Diego probably win the first, maybe the second. But I think where round 3 starts, I think that's where it gets tough. And I think Volkanovski, if we do hit the mat, I think it's going to be really hard for Diego to do a whole lot submission wise is my issue. Just because just the way he's shaped. Like, there's not a lot of long limbs to grab. He barely has a neck. Yeah. Like, he's going to be a really difficult guy to submit. So the only way I see this going on the ground and going really, really well for Diego on the ground is if Diego is on top doing obscene damage. But if he's doing crazy damage on top, Volkanovski is probably going to have the space to get up, which Volk does very, very well. He creates good scrambles. And yes, he did well. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love this comment. I think we've talked about this for years and years. It drives me crazy where Alexander Gustafsson, Dominic Reyes, Diego Lopez, these guys did so well against the best guys, but they lost. He lost, guys. He didn't win that fight. Like, in what world does a good mixed martial artist, and Dominic Reyes, Diego Lopez, and Gus are all really good, great fighters, but they're not champs. Like, he did well. He did lose. Like, how does he get the credit for the win on this fight? He lost. And
not to mention, like, I think people forget that Movsar was preparing for Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't preparing for Diego Lopez. So in a lot of ways, when fights like that happen and you get a totally different stylistic matchup, because yes, they both have good jiu-jitsu. Bryce Mitchell as a fight and Diego Lopez as a fight are 2 vastly different things to prepare for. So in a lot of ways, Movsar took the fight short notice as well. So it's like, and still 30-27 him. So it's not, I get the point. It was impressive that he didn't get smashed. I'll give you that. But once again, we haven't seen him defeat and dominate people. It was a week's notice for Movsar too.
I was just going to say that it's a week's notice for the other fighter. And my point is, and we say this all the time, people that know debates about in sports, if you like Jordan means you hate LeBron, or you like Peyton Manning doesn't mean you dislike Tom Brady. Yeah, Diego Lopez is awesome. Like Diego Lopez against number 7 right now. Yeah, I think I picked Diego Lopez. I just don't think he beats Volk, Ilya, Mosarv, and Holloway. And I know Holloway moved up and Ilya's probably moved up. And I do say this, we're getting close to the end of Volk. We are doing that, guys. And trust me, I am an ageist in mixed martial arts. I've been very open and honest about it. There's a time where the Volkanovski can beat the number 12 guy in the world when he's 37. He can't beat number 2. Like in 2 years, there's going to be a time that Mosarv is going to smash him. And if God forbid Ilya moves back down, or if Max, which they did a 4-off, like there's going to be a time. Lord Gene Silva is coming. Like there's going to be a time where the next generation will catch up to Volk, and it just happens organically. Huh?
Aljamain Sterling, like he gets forgotten at featherweight all the time. Yeah. Had a razor thin fight with Movsar. Aljo's a tough matchup for a lot of these guys as well. So the division is so interesting now. And I got to be honest, I was a little bit upset with Ilya for going up. And I still think that it kind of does suck for the division overall, because they put so much work and effort into building the Ilya storyline, because he's a superstar. And now they haven't pumped up Diego Lopez as much. They clearly aren't pumping up Movsar as much as they should be. You know, like Movsar could be getting promoted by the UFC much better than he has. So it's like they're devoid of a great storyline now, unless Diego gets it done this weekend, and then we have this epic rematch possibly with Movsar. You know, it's out there. Apparently, this fight is off, right?
Yeah.
So.
Where it for
there's
me,
a lot of speculation.
It never made sense. Like Aaron Pico coming into the division, that's cool. That's a thing on its own. You know, it's always great to bring in talent into a division. For Mosarv to fight him, like, to me, never made sense to me. I understand the ring rust part of it, but guys, I would argue against anyone that I think Mosarv should be in this title fight, even over Diego Lopez. They fought. Mosarv won. Mosarv's 9-0 in the UFC. Undefeated. He's never lost. So to me, it's not like he's got bad losses somewhere else and, you know, it was a one-off kind of a thing against him. This man is 19-0, never lost. It should be probably Mosarv versus, Volk. And then, you know, Diego Lopez can introduce Aaron Pico to the UFC featherweight division, which I don't think that's going to go well for Aaron Pico. Like I know a lot of people like him, and I hear stories off air and on air, but like, this is tough, man. You're going to fight Gene Silva, Mosarv, Diego, or Arnold Allen. Like that's who you're fighting.
No, that's tough. And to that effect, I understand how it makes sense for the UFC. Does it make sense for Movsar? No. This was a lose-lose fight for Movsar. If he beats Aaron Pico, everybody will just be like, yeah, he's B-League. Like, it doesn't do that much for Movsar to annihilate Aaron Pico. For the UFC, though, I think this is kind of a win-win. The UFC has made it very clear that for whatever reason, no matter how many times Movsar dominates guys, they just don't like him. So I guess they put it out there where like, oh, if he smashes Aaron Pico, hey, look, our guys are better than Bellator's guys. If Aaron Pico somehow pulls this off, the UFC's like, look, we have a new star that we like better than Movsar for whatever reason. But I definitely feel like it made sense for the UFC. But I'm with you guys that it doesn't make any sense for Movsar. He absolutely deserves this title shot, in my opinion, and in many people's opinions.
Dude, I drank a wild cherry Pepsi like in 9 seconds. I'm sorry. It might be a tough.
Are you just chugging Pepsi while I was on? Is that why you put me on the screen?
Yeah. I was chugging and running. So there you go. UFC 314 co-main event. Oh, the main event. Let's talk about the co-main event. To me, it's I don't know, Elle, if you're feeling it down there. Like, this is the fight that's getting all the buzz. And of course, Patty Pimblett is a superstar. Michael Chandler is a big name in the sport, of course. This fight, I'm even probably more intrigued than the championship fight. Like, because I don't have a major lean. I don't feel crazy about it one way or the other. It's like, I got to see the fight. Or I got to see the first round to figure stuff out. Do you have any lean on it? Are you more...
Yes. I think this is a fantastic matchup for Patty. If we're going to match Patty up to win anywhere in the top 10, this is the best matchup for him. Michael Chandler looks increasingly like worse. Like, he looks like he takes this sport less and less seriously every time we've seen him in the cage. And I don't think he cares about winning anymore. And I don't think he will make the right decisions. And you can't have fight IQ as bad as Michael Chandler when you're fighting somebody as dangerous as Patty Pimblett. Like, I am surprised that Patty's not a bigger favorite, to be completely honest. I really think this is a great matchup for him. Yes. Does Michael Chandler have the skills to beat Patty Pimblett? Absolutely. Will he? Has he even been training to do so? I have no idea, because we just haven't seen it recently from Michael Chandler. I feel like the last fight with Charles, he just was such a bad look for me. I think he's done.
Okay. That's a lot to unpack there, Ellen. I love it. Funny thing, I think it's funny that I think me and you's biggest betting debate was Bobby Green versus Patty Pimblett. And I think it's so funny. Now you think Patty should be the betted favorite higher against Chandler. I think it's a wild life we live in. My one thing I will say about Chandler, and maybe this is off of me saying this, there's a lot of not alertness. He needs to win this fight. He's 2-4.
Yeah. That might be the best one-liner.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Like,
no,
I think Chandler even knows if he doesn't win this fight, like, dude, you're not headlining. The GFL might be knocking on his door. Like, there's
I don't know that they'll cut him. They let Tony, because of how like big of a name Tony was, they let him go like 0-7 before they cut him.
I think it's a little bit different. Tony made his name in the UFC. Like, his run of this was in the UFC. So they had all that
away, because nobody really gave a crap about him before. Like, this has definitely boosted him. Being in the UFC has boosted him.
I totally agree, Elle, but he's 2-4. Like, if he loses his fight, but like, well, my point is, let's just, we're here. We have plenty of time. If he loses this fight, throw me the next matchup for Michael Chandler in the UFC.
Grant, please. For the love of all that is holy.
Wow.
No, I think he becomes that. I really do. I just think he becomes the new Tony. He'll still talk plenty. Probably talk more than Tony did in his more recent years. But Patty Pimblett does not want anything to do with Arman Sarukian. That is probably the worst matchup for Patty in the top 10. But I don't know that they cut him. Maybe they just use him. It all honestly depends on money. Because like they really don't cut guys like that until it's no longer worth what they're paying. They're no longer worth what they're paying them, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. The Grant. But does Chandler and Grant, do they headline a fight night, or are they just on a New York pay-per-view?
Honestly, it probably is going to be a 3-rounder on like early main card of a pay-per-view. Would be like if Grant gets like I don't know, Ignacio Bahamondes next or somebody like that.
Whoa, you breaking news right now?
No, I would love to be, but I'm not.
Ignacio's next.
Suggestion. They're close to each other in the rankings. I think. I'm hopeful that it's higher. I think that the division is getting interesting. And I'm really, there's no fight news, David. Stop it. Stop it, David.
Is Dakota Ditcheva, is she?
Dude, everybody was like, what's happening with Dakota? Guys, just remember that Dave thought that Dakota going to a UFC fight in her hometown meant that she was clearly signed.
Let's see where she fights next, though. Let's see where she fights next.
Anyway, this is Pitbull Patricio. That's 2 different weight classes.
Yeah,
okay.
I was just going to say that. At least you don't think Pitbull's going to move up.
Pitbull made 135. He didn't look good, but he made 135. He is not. If anything, Chandler's going to 170. But here is my thing. I'm hopeful that with the division being shaken up by Ilya, by possibly Islam going up to 170, I'm hoping that this will shift the 5 through 10 enough for Grant to get a matchup in that area instead of consistently having to fight, the tougher guys right outside the rankings, which is kind of what happens to Grant because a lot of people don't want to fight him. I don't think Justin Gaethje would want to fight Grant. I think it's a lose-lose situation for him,
Yeah. And also, you know me, Grant will be in this studio behind me Saturday night, UFC 314 watch along. We love Grant Dawson. It's also tough too. There's so many guys like Gamrot and Moicano and even like Poirier. And Armand, right? That's 4 out of the 3 through 12. That's so 30% of it's already gone, with like the American top team love. It's tough. And yet I wouldn't want to fight Grant, I'm like a middleweight too. I don't want to mess up.
No, they both said they're not fighting each other. They train together every day. Like Grant and Gamrot literally train together every day. Grant and Moicano train together every day. He shouldn't have to fight these guys unless it's for a belt. And that's kind of that's what they've all kind of decided amongst themselves,
All right, a lot of Chandler chatter right there. And yes, that put that together. Guys, Molly McCann's coming around in 45 minutes. Jillian the Savage Robertson in 30. That could happen. Let's talk about Patty Pimblett. Win or lose. Not happening.
We need to do something because Dave has a training video with Jillian. We totally need a Dave rolls with Grant video. Middleweight by girth alone. Sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, though. How long do I last with Grant?
So I don't know if you guys know this, but out on the interwebs, if you go find this video, I implore you, please do not read the comment section. It's gross. But out on the interwebs, there is a video that was taken after a conversation where Laura Sanko and I were convinced that if we fought Grant at the same time, we would win. The original match that was not filmed lasted about 11 seconds before both Laura and I were submitted. The second time we did better. We worked together better, and it was like a minute and a half.
Okay.
So not long. Not
yeah,
long.
I don't think I last 30 seconds with Grant.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe if he's nice. He was being very nice to us too, because obviously he didn't want to hurt either of us.
Grant does love me.
But it did not go well for Laura and myself.
Yeah, people don't understand, and we joked about Chandler and GFL and stuff, but people don't understand even Michael Chandler how high level these guys are at mixed martial arts. Guys, they practice technique every day. You guys are in the gym practicing technique or techniques or strategies, whatever, and not even that, just in the gym every single day.
Yeah,
I don't think Dave is 10. I don't think Dave lasts 10 seconds.
We'll post it. We'll post it this weekend, guys. It's gonna happen.
Oh no! I've been cleaning the studio. It's gonna look nice. Saturday night.
Big enough? Can we put a mat down?
We probably could. Talking about Saturday night. So this past weekend, Elle and myself was in PFL. I think we should tell some fun stories about that in Orlando.
PFL was awesome, guys.
We had lucky enough. You want to push some buttons?
I will. Yeah.
The first one is a Terrence McKinney signed UFC glove. Whoa!
That is such a blue photo.
I know.
We need better lights next week.
It was us in front. It was very spur of the moment. I had no idea. He asked me for the picture. So then Terrence is an absolute stud.
Sorry.
Mozart, the undefeated Mozart, 19-0. This man signed the glove, took a great picture. Whoever took that photo deserves a raise in Fight Finesse. Great shot. Very cool. So we are giving these gloves away Saturday during the show. All you have to do is watch us Saturday night. Be subscribed to the Fight Finesse official YouTube channel and put in Mosarv or Terrence McKinney, put in their name, and we'll pick a winner Saturday night.
Let's go. But you have to be subbed to the YouTube, not just the Facebook.
Come on, have to be. Have to be. And maybe, I don't know, well, Grant will have him sign something maybe in here.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Maybe a cool card. Maybe Dave's head on a spit. I'm just kidding.
Unbelievable.
We'll get a picture of Grant choking out Dave, and Grant will sign it.
Banana hat?
I kind of miss the banana bets, but
should we make a banana bet for Saturday?
We can. I will bet Patty Pimblett for a banana bet.
No.
No, you're not confident enough in that.
Yeah. Nah.
I wouldn't be, honestly.
Dude, his IQ.
There's a wild card, you know.
Yeah. Like, that's why I'm that fight. I know it sounds crazy. We haven't even talked about Gene Silva and Bryce Mitchell. Yair Rodriguez is back, dude. I love Yair Rodriguez watching the fight against Pitbull. There's so much great content Saturday night. I do not know what I'm going to watch in the co-main event. I have no idea.
Grant does not have a fight booked, guys. I was not breaking news. It was just a possible matchup that makes sense. I promise. There's nothing confidential even. Like, literally, we would love to have fight news. There's nothing. There's nothing, Dave. We literally call you every time. Stop messing with the people. There's nothing, guys. Grant. This is another name. Grant will not fight Drew Dober. Also, just let Drew Dober take a break.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and not to go negative on Drew Dober. It's been a tough stretch. Tough stretch. I think, dude, Ignacio versus Grant's awesome. That's a fun fight.
I'd like for him to be able to fight higher up in the rankings, but I do think Ignacio makes sense too. Big win over Turner. Wow. Retired the guy.
Fun. No, I agree here, guys. It is. I'm so intrigued in this fight. I can see, you ready for this? I can see Chandler, like TK and Owen, Patty. I can see split decision, unanimous decision both ways. You ready for this one? What happened if Michael Chandler wrestles Saturday night?
He won't. He won't.
Well, I never say never in MMA, Elle, ever.
I think Justin Gaethje will wrestle more this year than Michael Chandler.
Oh my goodness. Islam.
I just don't see it. But
oh no. Again, guys, you ready? And me and Elle had this conversation last time, him versus Bobby Green. Patty Pimblett's never, I don't think, gonna wrestle. He's not going to Kayla Harris and Julia Pena. Sometimes it scrambles, guys fall. There's just weird things that happen in fights, trips. There's Patty is never going to be Kayla Harrison. So
no, and I think it's just meeting like a car crash.
Ooh,
love all of those. Ooh. Love all of those. Yeah, I think he's going to go down, dude. He looked so small against Gaethje. I think he's a 45er.
Yeah, I do.
And that was short notice too, and he looked tiny.
Yeah. Good point. Patty's great off his back. Yeah, like, dude.
I mean, I don't think he's good enough to sub Michael Chandler off his back, but like, remember what happened where Chandler was literally winning and tried to like magic stick jump over Dustin Poirier, gets his back taken, and Dustin Poirier rear naked chokes him. Like, I can see a scramble like that where Michael Chandler has a good position and loses it doing something dumb, and Patty capitalizes.
Also, here's devil's advocate with Chandler real quick on your Patty pick. And it's so funny is we're so the opposite. I felt like for 2 years I was pro Patty and you were picking a broomstick to beat him.
I don't like him that much. I mean, I do. I think he's a nice guy. I don't like his persona very much personally, but I don't think he's a terrible fighter. I thought Bobby would look better.
I think I'm leaning more Chandler, like I said to you. And a big reason why is his level of competition is incredibly higher than
that's fair.
Than Patty, because I know he's lost and he's 2-4, and I've been throwing that, but Oliveira, right? Gaethje, Poirier. Who doesn't lose to these guys? You know what I mean? So I think
but then the level he's beating is not all that much higher than what Patty's beating. Like ancient Tony Ferguson.
No, I agree.
Dan Hooker, I will give credit for that win, but I will say that wasn't Dan Hooker's best era. That was untattooed Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
Real quick, Christopher J. Island Fights 10 days away. Can't wait. Off the Hook boxing May 3rd. Also, D Tool will be live on this show in 1 hour. So a little bit of breaking news. Dean Tool coming on live. Chandler's winning and then he loses. Yes. Grant versus Ruffy.
Yeah, you could. I think Ruffy can take a few more fights before Grant has to.
Yeah, that's a big jump. Big jump.
He's had what 2-3 UFC fights. Like, he's great. He's fantastic, but like I feel like Grant has earned a higher level fight than that,
Guys, if I could say on this too, I think Chandler and dude, I'm not a Michael Chandler guy. I'm not like Mr. Pro Michael Chandler. I think this is a little bit of a bad rap. I do. Dude, Elle knows this. I don't know this. You're in a war. You're in a literally 5-minute
cheated
fight.
I've never.
But has Michael Chandler cheated in every single fight? Like,
I honestly, I don't know. I haven't recently watched enough films.
The Poirier thing, yes. The Poirier thing, there was multiple things. But there's been a couple fights he hasn't.
The Oliveira fight, he kept grabbing the cage too. Like,
who doesn't grab the cage?
I've never grabbed the cage.
Maybe not.
Granted, nobody's ever trying to take me down. It's the other way around. But
you're a high-level athlete, though.
I don't think it's that hard. I don't think it's that hard to not grab the cage. And I think the only reason fighters do it is because the consequences for it are so freaking low.
I agree.
You can stop a whole takedown and not even lose a point.
Yeah.
Like if I'm telling you, if every time Michael Chandler grabbed the cage, he had to go flat on his back under Charles Oliveira, I bet he would. And he was hitting him in the back of the head too. No,
he was, true. But if I could, again, devil's advocate, I'm like, I should be Michael Chandler's lawyer today. A lot of stuff's happening. Even remember in that fight, Oliveira's like really pushing his head, put back and forth. It wasn't like he was a perfect aim. It wasn't
like action variance.
Yes. Yeah. Like it wasn't.
I'm more concerned with the cage grabbing.
I agree with you. I agree. I don't know. I think Michael Chandler's
no, Chris, no, just that's a dumb comment. Don't even put it up.
Okay.
No, not all fighters cheat.
Yeah, it does. There's been multiple, you ready for that? I don't think Gillian's ever cheated in a UFC fight.
No. Grant has never had a low blow, eye poke, anything. He's been kicked in the junk. Like,
a lot of Grant Dawson talk so far today. I wasn't expecting that.
It's not like we're biased or anything.
I know, but we are. Saturday night, by the way, Grant Dawson, myself, and Coach Mike will be in the building. UFC 314 watch along, giveaways of these gloves and other stuff too. We'll find some stuff. We'll be like Santa Claus that day. You or Oprah, you get a car. I
kind of didn't even think about this. I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this actually would be kind of a fun press conference with these two guys. Like the dude that knocked out the 145er that knocked out Michael Chandler is now in the UFC with him. So
it's weird though. I feel, you ready for this one? Maybe I might be way off. I think they will have like a weird bond of like they fought each other. They're kind of the outsiders of the UFC and now they're in it together. Like there's, I think, a little respect or kinship to each other.
I think most fighters, I would normally say yes. But I don't know. Nobody seems to really become friends with Michael Chandler after their
my goodness, guys, I'm
he
sorry. This is the Michael Chandler shit show.
He's every time I have seen him out at an event, he's been very nice. But I just haven't seen him get like DJ and Henry Cejudo are like super cool now. They did like a show together. I haven't seen that happen with any of Michael Chandler's like beefs. And he wants to be Dustin Poirier's friend so bad. So
who doesn't want to be Dustin Poirier's friend? Come on.
I don't, of course, I see why. It's just like he talks about it a lot and it just hasn't happened. So I don't know. Maybe that would be
This
kind
is
of
a good
cool
one.
if they were like had each other's back at the presser. The former
Real
Bill.
quick shout out, Kayla Patterson, dude, Odd Smoker MMA. They've been doing some great graphics, a little collaboration with us and them. Shout out to them, Odd Smoker MMA.
Odd
Yeah,
Smoker.
I like that.
That graphics
very
look
nice,
sick.
very good people. I like that. Christopher J goes, I'm excited for Kayla and Juliana's press conference on Friday. Already have my popcorn ready. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Chris. Yes.
You ready for this one? I think it's gonna be very. And dude, we love Kayla Harrison. I love Kayla Harrison. I think it's gonna be like very petty. I think both of them are gonna. I think if people, all the professional wrestling fans will understand this, it's gonna be very Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton. Okay, it's gonna be very that.
No idea.
Elle
I
Dawson.
think Kayla's funny. Like Kayla can have like some. What's the word? Like she can make fun of herself a little bit.
Oh,
I've never really seen Juliana do that, and so
she doesn't understand the joke.
Huh?
She doesn't understand the make fun of.
It's I don't. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect.
Crazy. Let's hit on that maybe for 5 minutes. G will join in 10. Then Molly McCann, and then Dave Odd Smoker.
I don't know. Is it a pun?
I think so. I think he's maybe talking about Greenleaf. I think. All right, real quick. UFC 316, Newark, New Jersey. Co-main event: Kayla and Juliana. Finally, official. Also, the main event of that card: Merab Dvalishvili versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. The rematch that no one wants to see. It's wild. This fight has got shat on for a week and a half.
Maybe it's honestly kind of crazy how far Sean O'Malley fell out of the fans' good graces, to be honest, because you would think he was this huge star. He had so much behind him, when he beat Aljamain Sterling, he just exploded.
Yeah.
And then just to see once he lost to Merab, it just seems like he lost so much steam. And then seeing Merab do what he did to Umar, who is incredibly, I think Jean Silva has pretty solid takedown defense. I'm surprised to see you say that, but I think so. But sorry, I'm way too ADHD for Dave to
a butterfly.
oh look, a squirrel. What was I saying?
Sugar Sean O'Malley fell hard.
Sugar Sean O'Malley fell from grace. Yeah. And I honestly, I don't even think he deserves it. Like the hate. I don't think he deserves the hate. Like he lost to the best guy. Merab just beat Umar Nurmagomedov, who I believe is a better fighter than Merab almost everywhere, if we're just looking at technically. But Merab just out-dogged him, out-cardioed him, outpaced him. And Umar has phenomenal cardio. And so I feel like after seeing Merab do that, like it was like he beat Sean, and then he beat Umar and he went boom. And then Sean lost and went boom. So it's like people just see such a big gap now between Merab and Sean O'Malley that I feel like we know what happens. I think the chances, obviously Sugar Sean can put anybody out at any time. Yeah. But it's so hard to bet on the guy who can only win by knockout.
I agree. The one thing, and Elle, have you ever watched that fight back, the Noche main event with Merab and Sugar?
Yeah.
Because watching it live, it's so, it's to me, at least for me, I'll talk for me. The first time you're kind of like really into it, almost more like as a fan, like I don't watch it as like a judge or studying tape, right? The first time I'm very fan friendly. And also the screens are big and it's just a lot. And also after the fact, it was like, so Merab, it was like, oh, Merab dominated. I watched the fight again a second time and Merab won. I'm not trying to say anything like that. I just thought Sean did better than what people remember he did. Like he has I'm like Merab won, but Sean had moments. He definitely went around, maybe two. Like you can pretty argue maybe two, but it's just I think he did a little bit better than what people remember. It wasn't a car wash.
No, I agree. Honestly, yeah, it was a closer fight. It just wasn't. I think the Sean O'Malley's moments weren't exciting, and so when he did have good moments in the fight, it wasn't what we have expected from O'Malley in the past. You know, he couldn't dribble his invisible basketball and showboat, and he didn't drop anybody. You know, it wasn't what people had hyped him up to be in their minds. And so I feel like I don't know. I felt like I actually kind of feel for the guy a little bit. And like, he kind of chilled out, humbled himself, you know. I love seeing Merab with like, can you just be mean again? Like, I want to hate you. Yeah. And he's been like super complimentary of Merab. And yeah, I think Coach Mike hit the nail on the head here. Like, we were expecting an Aljo style KO, and it just didn't. I wasn't. I was expecting what happened, which was Merab to just smother. And honestly, I was expecting Merab to be a little bit more dominant after I watched it back. Like, I agree with you. I thought it was more dominant the first time I watched it. But, and I honestly, if anything, I think it'll probably be more dominant this time. Just the confidence boost that Merab has to get from doing what he did to Umar. I feel like I expect him to do even better, you know? So I think that's why people just aren't that stoked to see this fight again. Dave's very popular. I can hear all your.
It's
happening.
Life's good right now, Elle. Life's good. Talking about life being good, can we give some flowers to UFC record holder? Can we give some flowers to co-host of the Sunday Morning Brew? Also, this, you know, she's not even just family of Fight Bananas. She's also became a booker of Fight Bananas, getting one of our great guests coming on in 20-25 minutes, Miss Molly McCann, the one, the only future strawweight world champion, Gillian the Savage Robertson.
What an intro.
Thank you. Future strawweight Canadian world champion.
You'll never let that die, G. Never.
You're already into us.
I know. I am pretty much, I don't know. I'm stuck in between both because I have a lot of heart and love for Florida. I grew up in Florida, but I do have, like, Canada still is home to me. So I'm torn.
It looks like you got some Florida color. Looks like you got a little bit of a tan this week.
So big part of my camp has been me being a huge hippie, and I've been really focusing on like grounding and meditation. So just trying to go outside for at least like 30 minutes to an hour every single day. So that's, I don't know, just been a huge part of my camp.
Get in the sun.
I love it. Talking about another thing I was going to say about you, the GOAT of the GOATs, Gillian Robertson. I saw there was a UFC popular fighter from England at GOAT. Were you there? Did you know about it beforehand? Patty Pimblett at the GOAT Shed.
Honestly, everybody's kind of been there this week. Jean Silva was there earlier in the week. Patty Pimblett, Kawhi Bohio was there today. So I feel like we're only 10 minutes from the venue. I'm assuming the Fighter Hotel is close too. So it seems like everybody's just kind of using our gym and seems to be coming through there.
Did you meet either one of those guys so far?
Yes and no. I've met them, but I'm also either just finishing sparring, starting my cardio, or getting in the sauna. So they're in the same room as me, but I have other focuses right now.
I respect that. Dude, it's crazy to think that how close. And I remember going to Goat Shed, and trying to say this the best. It was a cool environment. Like, it was very cool, but it was very like gritty, and I loved it when I went. But now it's funny to see. I remember when Nate came through, and then Usman was there with Odell Beckham Jr., who is a big football star. And then Patty Pimblett, like we were talking about it, maybe the biggest star of this show. Just it's wild to see like how glamorous in a weird way the gym is. Does that make sense? It's wild.
It's glamorous in its own kind of way.
There you go. G again is cool. Not worth it. I agree with SG. Too cold.
So when my parents actually moved down to Florida initially, they were like, it's just going to be for 1 year. And then it turned into 20-something years because it is too cold in Canada.
Agreed.
This is a good one as well. How did G meet Molly?
So,
origin story.
It was actually the first time I ever heard about Molly McCann was Kayla Rocco showed me a video of her. And it must have been just after my UFC debut against Emily Whitmire. And she was like, yo, look at this girl. She's badass, because she was knocking out girls on the scene in Cage Warriors. Just the way she carries herself. You know, she walks in there like a gangster. She gets all the attention on her in all the best ways possible. I'm like, I absolutely love her aura when she's winning. So Kayla Rocco showed me these videos of her. And then months later, I hear, hey, your UFC debut is against this girl, Molly McCann. So I start Googling her, and I was like, oh shit, this is that girl Kayla told me about to look at. So I was watching more of her fight videos, found out she's Cage Warriors champion. I think she was either 7-1 or 7-2 at the time. So like, I don't know, a very big deal to me I think I was 4-2, just had technically my UFC debut, but it was on the Tough finale. So I still didn't get my first fight kit. I didn't get like actual like UFC treatment yet. So technically I considered Molly McCann my UFC debut. So I was just absolutely like scared shitless of like, oh shit, this girl, Cage Warriors champion, she's a big deal. I have to go fly into her hometown in Liverpool and fight her. And that's where I met Molly McCann.
I love it. How many stories start with Kayla Rocco? A lot, right?
More than I can count.
Yeah. A lot.
Probably, yeah, okay. Between the two of us, probably a lot.
Yeah.
Crazy. My Kayla Rocco, and I think I told you the story. My Kayla Rocco story is she was fighting for Icon, and she was there. King Mo was coaching her, and I think I stole the King Mo chicken story. I don't have to tell that story again. But King Mo was doing his own thing, and Kayla weighed in, and she was like just really hungry. And we were staying at a nice kind of like casino there in Biloxi, and they kind of had like a sushi joint in the back. And she was like, oh my goodness, I would love it. And I'm not honest, I'm trying to say this the best way. She wasn't, let's just say she didn't think that she could go in there and you know, it was just a lot of money to go to that restaurant. And she's like, oh, I really want it. I was like, dude, let's just go. Let's do it. So we had good sushi that night. That's my Kayla Rocco story. And then fight didn't go our way. So that sucks.
I don't know if this is more of a me story than a Kayla Rocco story, but Kayla actually came out to corner me in Prague, and for my third or fourth UFC fight, she was my only corner, just out there by herself, never cornered a fight in her life, and she flew out to Prague to corner me. And then we went out after, had a great time, obviously celebrating the fight win.
In Prague. That's awesome.
In Prague. Yeah, it was amazing. I think I was like 23 or 24 years old at the time too. So a little bit reckless, and that's where the story's going. And Kayla, she was like, all right, it's time to go home. I got to find Gillian. I can't find her. So she was looking all over this bar for me. Like the owner of the bar had me sign the wall and everything. Like so she went up to him and she was like, do you know where she is? He's like, I don't know. Maybe she's outside smoking a joint or something. So she's looking for me everywhere. She comes back in, and I'm dancing with the bartender, who's this huge chick, like a 6-foot tall chick. And we're dancing on top of the bar. And Kayla just had a little video of it. And she's like, I'm just going to show you this before I delete it. And it was just a video of me and the bartender on top of the bar just dancing. And she's like, okay, I found her.
That's so wild. I haven't received my UFC Iowa email yet from you, but I don't know. Maybe next time. All right. Maybe next time, you know.
Yeah. Next time, Dave in the corner.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Just get the hat. I wouldn't never wear the hat. Going to Coyote Ugly Style. Love it. I watched you guys on Sunday, but now this week with the PFL coming up in Orlando, we just had Liz Carmouche on to like start the show. Have you seen their flyweight tournament bracket at all by any chance?
I've seen a little bit. I just saw that Talita and Tyla isn't a part of it anymore.
Out.
Yeah, she's out. We don't know why.
That's mind blowing to me. I'm like, she's obviously definitely like in the running to be one of the favorites. I'm like, it's mind blowing that she is not in it anymore. That's all I've really seen of, I guess, that necessarily.
maybe they're testing more in PFL.
Just thoughts,
Could be weight, could be that,
Yeah.
We saw some people, not make weight last week, so it could happen again.
Dude. Sure. Megamon, I thought he was going to win the whole thing.
I think he was slated to, honestly.
That was a big loss to the tournament.
That's a bummer to not be in it. So yeah,
but it was fun. It was good fights. I'm excited. I won't be there. Actually, Friday I'll be more in G's neck of the woods. I'll be in Miami, Florida for Aiden Ross's show. And the crazy part is, so I guess I didn't even put it together. Of course, the UFC's down there. So like my contact with Aiden Ross, I guess a lot of people from like the UFC roster and other people want to go to this Aiden Ross show. So it's like, could be a fun night in Miami Friday night.
I won't be there. I'll be in Orlando.
Yeah. Elle will be in Orlando. Grant will be here in Orlando. Then Saturday night, UFC watch along. Us, myself, Elle, Grant, Coach Michael, all be in the building. Last week in Orlando, we got Mosarf sign a glove. Got Terrence McKinney to sign a glove. We'll be giving all these away Saturday night, G.
Oh, shit. Big giveaways.
Hey, big giveaways. There you go. There you go.
Did you get your tickets yet for Saturday?
No.
Come on, Hunter. Email Jillian.
I'm not cool enough, guys.
Unbelievable.
Dude,
you have a
one
record
day
in the UFC.
One day.
Cool enough.
Crazy. Anything from this past Saturday that you guys, I know you guys talked a lot about it on Sunday morning, but anything off the last 2 days that you've seen that kind of interest you?
Let's see. There's the Patty.
Josh Emmett had the best tweet on the Ron Murphy. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like the Ron Murphy talked about like, I'm like sting like a butterfly. Like I don't want to get knocked out like Bryce Mitchell did. And then Josh Emmett subtweeted be like, oh, that would have been a lot more exciting though. And I thought it was a really good tweet by Josh Emmett.
No, I did see that. And it's like, and yes, to Leron's point, but also no. I like it. I understand you don't want to end up like that, but you also got to do more to make it an exciting fight.
Yeah, like that division is so stacked. Like that win, I know he moved up to number 8, but like there's not a lot of like the UFC's not. I feel like they're not happy about pushing the Ron Murphy more, and that's a big thing. Like people don't understand Patty Pimblett, Sugar Sean O'Malley, guys like this, girls. There's certain ones that people, the right win, you can go a lot. 2 questions, fun. How do you guys deal with hurricanes down there? I don't. Anytime a hurricane comes close to Florida, me and the family, we just get out. Like we just have a thing. We are super lucky to have family in Charleston, South Carolina, Boone, North Carolina, like these awesome locations. We just get out. This is what I do. So nothing that's holding me as a house. I don't have a 9 to 5 and we just get out. That's how I deal with hurricanes.
I stay here. We don't get them here. Like the hurricane does not, I don't know what it is about where we live, but since I have lived here, every hurricane that has come through has hit like the Tampa side.
Yeah.
I think Miami had some flooding, but honestly, that's pretty far from us. We just get some rain usually. We just get a lot of rain.
I remember when I was in either second or third grade, we had like 2 weeks off from a hurricane and then got hit by another hurricane right after and had another 2 weeks off with Gene and Francis. So I'm like, those were the only ones that ever really hit. And I remember with one of them, like walking out and seeing the eye over top of us. So it's like, it was a direct hit. Like, and they were both at category 3s. One took 2 days to go over us. One took one night where it was like gone. Like we went to bed and it was there and gone. It was just crazy how like the differences between them, the destruction that was done. I'm like we were very lucky. Like luckily we were on a good power grid too, where our power got turned on quickly, where it's like, if you're not in a good area, people were waiting like a month plus to get power back. And it's like,
that's what people don't understand. When the hurricane slows down over you, it's even worse because it just sits and it rains and rains. So many people, you lose power, trees fall down, flooding, all that stuff.
You can't do anything about it till it passes.
Yeah, that's the crappy part. Like, it's crazy. This is not a bad question. We need a savage giveaway for Saturday.
We might be
Gillian,
able to arrange that.
I have a suggestion. So Grant and I are going to be in Orlando this weekend. So we had people in the comments say that they wanted a Grant versus Dave wrestling match. So I figure we'll get a really nice photo of Grant submitting Dave, and we'll have Grant sign it, and it'll be epic. Why we need a picture of Gillian choking Dave. And
that video doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, we already have a video of it. We could just like screenshot that. We could get that done. Yeah.
Really good shot. Send it to me. I'll get it like printed really nice.
Yeah, I think we could get that arranged.
I think it'd be awesome. We can do that before Friday.
Gee, how long do I last with a Grant Dawson grappling session?
Okay. Trying to be nice.
Right. No. I think 30 seconds. I think
little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, all right. It was a hell of a run, G. It was a hell of a run. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. To me, that's a very exciting fight. That's a feature fight, UFC 314. This fight goes two different ways, right? Gene Silva knocks out Bryce Mitchell into another universe, or Bryce Mitchell does something wild, wrestles, grapples him down, scrambles him down, something, gets Gene Silva down round 2, round 3, maybe put a submission attempts on Silva. To me, there's only two different ways. Am I kind of right on the path?
I think so, but I think I see it going more the Gene Silva path.
Yeah.
I see him being able to find his shots. I see him being able to keep the distance. And I just think that he approaches the game too smart to be able, I guess, to get caught up in Bryce's game.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Gene Silva has an 80% takedown defense ratio in the UFC, guys. I know he hasn't had too many UFC fights, but he does. I think his takedown defense will be solid enough to deal with that.
Also, I'm a huge believer in just in momentum inside the octagon and outside the octagon, like just in life. Good things happen to good momentum, good people, stuff of that nature. Like Gene Silva and the Fighting Nerds, they're doing something right. Like they just have all this good aura, momentum, and just, whatever that word is. Bryce is dealing with so much bull crap and everything that he said in his podcast. Like now he's saying a witch, he can't sleep this week because a witch has a spell on him. It's just like, it's so loud of negativity. He's getting knocked out. It's happening.
Yeah. I am concerned about Bryce Mitchell's mental well-being right now, guys. I am very worried. I think he is our new Tony Ferguson. But yeah, and SG made a good point too. Like, knocked out Dober at 155. Like, Gene Silva carries his power through 45, 55, doesn't matter. He has it everywhere. Bryce Mitchell has been knocked out badly recently, a lot. So he took a ton of damage against Ilya. I thought he might be dead after the Josh Emmett fight. Like, I feel like like you said, the trajectories are not looking good for Bryce Mitchell here, personally.
Crazy. Also another fight, I feel like it's going underneath the radar. Yair Rodriguez versus Pitbull. Like, I feel on other fight nights, or that could be a fight night main event or other pay-per-views, this fight would get a lot of love. There's just a lot of Gene Silva talk and Bryce Mitchell, of course, Patty and Chandler, and then a new champion on the rise. I think this fight is super underrated. I'm a huge Yair Rodriguez guy. Always fun, always entertaining, can do a multiple win in multiple different ways. I think I like Yair winning this fight.
No, I think I agree. I think that, I don't know. I love his style always,
Yes.
It's just, it is so difficult to deal with. And it's not like you can fly somebody in for a camp to prepare for Yair Rodriguez.
Great point.
I agree with you, G. I think he's very unique and he's big. Like, he's big. Pitbull, I know he is a 45er, but he has made 135. There is no point in Yair Rodriguez's career when I think he could have made bantamweight.
Right.
Like, he's massive. He's long. Pitbull's older. He's still really talented. But I feel like if Pitbull doesn't wrestle and get the takedown early, I don't see this going very well for him. I think there's just too much danger on the feet here for him. And Yair's dangerous off his back too. You have to be careful. He's slick. He uses his jiu-jitsu really well to get up. triangle Josh Emmett. No, it wasn't Josh Emmett's best night, but that there's a lot of danger there,
I agree. I thought Yair looked so good that night, by the way. I watched that fight a couple of times, his versus Josh Emmett. Like, he was violent. Like, his strikes and kicking, he was doing good things. Does the curse of Nina continue in the main event? Nina's done interviews with both guys.
That's what I was going to say. Nina's got them both this time, so it can't continue unless they draw.
What if that happens, the curse might be real.
Yeah.
What if Diego Lopez misses weight? They get a sub in there, and that guy beats Volkan. They both lose.
I'll take that too. Movsar steps in on short notice.
I don't think he can't make 145 this week, can he?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
he is always. It's so hard to tell how much Movsar weighs. Like he looks like he's like 4% body fat all the time. I don't understand how he cuts any weight, to be completely honest.
He was so cool last week in Orlando. He was
been
very nice.
He's a wonderful human being. But like just throwing that out there. Like Movsar is awesome.
Nice guy.
But yeah, like Jillian's seen him. His abs have abs. Like it just I can't tell if he's shredded or huge or both. I have no clue.
Or both. I feel like there's a lot of people. It's like even like if you look at Edson Barbosa, I'm like,
oh,
he's
we
another
talked about that.
Like how?
He's back abs.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Doesn't make any sense.
G, are you staying around for Molly?
I can stay around for a little bit, yeah.
Okay. One thing I wanted to bring your way, I don't know if you saw it or care about it. It's so funny when I talk to different fighters about it. Some people are like so into it and some don't. Like, it's not even on their radar. Did you see the whole like meta is taking over the rankings in the near future? What's your take on it? I don't know if you have a take or care. Like, what's your take on that?
I guess I don't know. I guess I would need more details on specifically. It's just the public giving their opinion then, I guess. Is it going off of or?
I thought it was going to be more statistic
AI
based.
AI?
Yeah.
Like instead of being just the journalists deciding who they like this week, I think it'll be a little bit more stats based, is from what I understand.
And I guess that makes more sense. I really, there needs to be something done with how they're doing the rankings. No doubt about that. I feel like there is no clarity on how they really work, like on how people move forward and people move up. I feel like they definitely need to redo that, but I don't know. Maybe AI is the right way to look.
And like both of you, this is like, I think to both of you and a little bit maybe more to G, what's your guys' take on, I feel like some fighters fight a easier path. They fight more unranked guys. They get on a winning streak. And like, no offense to Chase Hooper right now, but like what Chase Hooper is fighting unranked older fighters. So he's getting on this kind of good run. And we love Chase Hooper, but like there's an easier path. G, you were fighting some of your L's that didn't go your way. Talia Santos at the time, next fight or two fought for the world championship. And we all thought if you watch that fight, she beat Valentina that night. Macy Barber, like I feel like some fighters fight a harder roster, and I feel like your record, your UFC even record and ranking should be weighted. Like you have better wins and even like better losses than others. Does that make sense?
No, I think it does, and it's like it's also, I guess, you look at my career. This will be my 19th fight in the UFC. So it's like it's all based. Most of my record is based off of UFC opponents. Yeah. Where it's like other people's records can be built
14-0 outside
14-0 off the regional scene, then come in the UFC, and now you're 0-3 or whatever, So it's like
3.
Yeah, it definitely can't be put off of your record specifically either. Like you said, for reasons like that, I don't know. There is so much to look into it of like how it should work.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. Like it's because I think the current situation, and this, as she's asking, how is it done currently? So currently it's just a panel of journalists that make a decision. Like they vote essentially.
Which, you ready for this one? Even the panel of journalists, it's not who you think. Like, I know you think of a MMA journalist, there's like names that come to all of our head right away. Even some of the higher end like media outlets. It's not even those. Like it's like some like
pretty obscure.
Yeah, obscure. Exactly.
There's some people I've never heard of on there. So it's I definitely, it's very subjective currently. And I like what Sean said, like maybe it should be done by analysts. like in like the desk work. Like I feel like I understand like they don't want people within the organization to do it because they feel like that makes it
100%. Like
more biased, and people will claim it's more biased. So I like this idea of outsourcing it to someone where it's not subjective,
100%. If I was ranking Gillian's the number one strawweight, like the UFC light rankings, Grant Dawson, number 3 right now. Like that's just what it is. Like, and I think there's a lot of people, just brutally honest, are like that. There's history and lineage. Sometimes we say this all the time. If we post about Paddy Pimblett or Conor or McGregor or Jake Paul, Fight Bananas makes more money. Like we make more money than talking about Ignacio or, you know what I mean? Like a Gamrot, who's an absolute monster. When we make a post about Gamrot, we don't make a lot of money. Like, so outlets, there's always bias. That's what I'm getting at. So I like this AI thing. I think if they get the formula down pat,
well, and I think, like you said, like it's just a formula. Like AI, be like when you're programming the AI, it's like current win streaks, overall number of wins, total overall records of opponents could be a factor.
Yeah.
How many finishes, like how they're beating people, like all of these things can be factors that are programmed into this AI, and they can take real statistics instead of, because like sometimes you'll see people get frivolously unranked. And I think that the UFC has probably had a little bit of a hand in it at some point. I think they like ranked somebody right before they fought like a younger big name that they clearly wanted to rank.
Right.
And it's like, so if that guy beats this guy, then we can go ahead and rank him, even though he didn't really beat a ranked guy. We just put this guy in the rankings so he could beat him, type of thing. I think they've done that in the past as well. So I think this kind of removes all of that.
I think there is definitely some element too that they definitely use social media and publicity to rank people as well. Like there is some aspect of that too that has nothing to do with the fight game, but they want to put a number next to somebody's name who is more liked with the fans. So they just kind of put them up there or give them a fight that is more opportunistic for them to get them up there.
And I don't think we'll be able to completely get rid of that, obviously, because that's part of the sport. Like you've said it before too, like you got to sell yourself. Like you have to either be smashing people, good on the mic. Like you have to have these skills to build yourself and brand yourself in this career. But at the very least, we could mitigate some of the bias, right?
Right. Couple more things with G, more fight related. We talked about Silva, we talked about Yair, and kind of before Molly gets on, because I would love to pick her brain, of course, about Paddy. What do you think on this Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler? Me and Elle went back and forth. I feel like neither one of us feels. Oh no, Elle feels really confident about Paddy. I think I'm leaning Chandler. I think, but like I don't feel comfortable about it. I'm very intrigued, even with the matchup as well too.
No, this is kind of one of those matchups I think that I was just talking about, where I feel like it's somebody very likable that's given a very opportunistic, favorable matchup to kind of get himself up there, is what I see it as. For like, they want to build Paddy, they want to build his name. I think Michael Chandler he's always going to be a beast, but he's a little bit more on his way out, where I think they're really trying to build Paddy's name off of Michael Chandler.
Okay. So, dude, I might be way off on this.
I don't think Chandler has looked. I'm sure Gillian will say it in a much nicer way than I did, but I just don't think he's looked good recently. Like he looks worse each time I think he comes out, where it's like, I don't know if he's keeping the same training schedule. I don't know if age is catching up with him. I don't know if he still loves competing. I just don't see it in him anymore. And then there's always the issue of fight IQ, and I think a guy like Paddy can capitalize on that. So,
no, I think that's the big issue. The largest issue for Michael Chandler is fight IQ. He just makes not the smartest choices all the time. And I feel like even just like his style, the big winging punches, it's easier to find the more disciplined strikes down the middle.
If what's your take on if Patty wins and if Chandler wins? Like, do they go like kind of next step, both of them, or is there a different route? If Patty wins, is he fighting for the championship next? Or does he need to get one more Armand, Gaethje, Oliveira?
I think he definitely needs one more. I don't know if the UFC will give him the
Right, that's
championship
what, yeah,
next,
yeah.
but I think he needs one more. I think he needs to prove himself against someone who, like I said, Michael Chandler, I see as somebody who is maybe like belongs in the top 5, but on their way out, where I think he needs to fight somebody who is still a dog in that top five, like an Arman or a Gaethje, where he really needs to prove himself against somebody that is doing very well at that level.
I concur. All right, last one this Saturday night, main event. Volkanovski, Diego Lopez, a new UFC featherweight champion, will be crowned. Bruce Buffer is going to say, and new champion is?
I think Volk.
Yes! There we go.
We're all kind of on the same page.
Yeah,
like, if he can survive the early danger, I think Volk takes over 3, 4, and 5, you know?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I have liked Diego. I just think that he is too young in his career for this opportunity. I think he's like in the position that Patty's in if he beats Michael. He needs to kind of solidify himself a little bit more before getting a championship opportunity, where I think Volk's just...
Finish your thought. I have a esque question for you guys.
I think Volk's just too much of a vet. I think he still is going to solidify himself as champion.
Agree. Just curious, because for once I actually know the answer to this question. Who do you think has more fights? Volk or Diego? Overall fights. Obviously not fights in the UFC.
With you, like, being mysterious woman over here, I'm going to say Diego Lopez. Okay?
Yeah, do you know what his overall record is?
23-4.
26-6.
I was going to say I have it up here, so I can't say anything.
Volk is 26-4, so close to the same. But that's an insane amount of. I did not realize he had so much experience outside the UFC.
No, I think even when he got into the UFC, his first fight, it was on like a week or two notice. And I think he looked very impressive. It was against Mosar. And I think that, even honestly, that's the fight that caught my attention with him. I thought it was extremely impressive the way he's another one of the fighters who really just tries to blend MMA together so well, and just like mixing jiu-jitsu, striking, wrestling, whatever. He tries to put it together and is always looking for a finish, which I just admire more than anything else.
Do you remember who won that fight, Diego Lopez or Mosar?
Mosar?
Wow. I didn't know the UFC knows that. Like, these guys fought. Mosar's 19-0, 9-0 in the UFC, and he gets passed. That's wild. That's crazy.
No, that is crazy. And like I said, and honestly, Mosar is so much more deserving of that opportunity, where I feel like Diego still kind of needs to prove himself a little bit more.
Mosar beat Diego Lopez, Arnold Allen, Aljamain Sterling. Like, these are like great names. I think there's even one more really high-end name. It's crazy.
Ige, he smashed Ige. What are we missing?
Ige is good. Ige's solid.
I mean,
he took it on 24 hours notice.
That's how we're justifying giving Diego Lopez a title shot, you know? So Arnold Allen, Aljo, Dan Ige. No, it's probably his best ones.
Okay. Hey, if I could just on this comment, I reached out to Gillian Robertson 5 years ago. And the number one reason why I go, I love your fighting style. I love you finishing fights. As someone who is a fan and someone who watches fights and works in this industry, I love people who finish fights. I love it. However, like this comment, it's crazy. Dana doesn't like decisions. The man is still winning the fight. He's still beating Aljamain, Diego, Ige, Arnold Allen. Like, yes, I like people who finish fights more too. But that doesn't mean he's 9-0 in the UFC. Like, it's crazy.
But there is really something to that with Dana, I feel like, specifically. And that's why, like I said, with like the Leron Murphy fight last week, like he won, but Dana's not going to like that fight. Dana's not going to be happy with that performance. And it's like, Dana doesn't like decisions. Dana, and if you do want to get those opportunities, you got to impress the boss.
Yeah, I guess.
May I make a point?
Yes.
How many
please.
finishes do you think Alexander Volkanovski, fan favorite, has had since 2018?
1.
2.
Who are they?
Chan Sung Jung and Chad Mendez. Korean Zombie and Chad Mendez are his only 2 finishes. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about Yair. My bad.
Yeah, the Yair was his best one.
That
It's
was
funny,
his
guys.
best
If
one.
you
That was his
remember the
best
Korean Zombie one, he didn't even finish him. It was a more of like the judge kind of saving Zombie. He actually kind of
Right.
like didn't finish him. I remember that fight vividly. It was in Jacksonville, Florida.
No, the dude has made a huge career as a fan favorite off of always great fights, but off of
Yeah.
almost all decisions.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo decision, Max Holloway decision, Brian Ortega decision, Max Holloway again decision. Obviously, like he has some finishes sprinkled in there, but not a ton. You know,
I think there is something to be said though of, and I definitely feel this because I'm on the wrong side of it, of a striker getting decisions versus a grappler getting decisions, where one's more exciting to watch versus the other.
or
Good
one
point.
gets more credit because I've seen some pretty like, honestly, there wasn't even that much wrestling in the Arnold Allen fight. Most are outstruck Arnold Allen and still got hate. You know, like that was a good fight. Like there was some wrestling, but like that was a good fight, and that got less hate than other fights that were on the same card that should have gotten a lot more hate.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. We might have some time mix-ups with Molly McCann. I'll take the blame on this one, guys. I know it's my fault.
You, David.
I know we had a Molly McCann mix-up, but we'll get her on. We'll make it work one way or another. You know, I forgot she's on another continent. You know, it's mix-up of times. It's my fault. So
it's all good. It's all good.
Maybe next time.
That's a
next time.
bummer.
But G, I don't want to take up your whole day. You're the best. Anything else? Do you have anything going else in Miami with UFC being there? Anything of that nature?
Not really. Just my own fight week. Not cool enough to get tickets, so I'm like, I'm just here. I'm gonna watch TV on the couch like usual.
Dude, remember when you're UFC champion and all these other people are not supportive of G, and everyone's be like, "Oh, can MMA fighting?" It's gonna be like, "Hey, G, can we do something?" Be like, "Dude, Fight Bananas had me since day one." Okay, I'm doing an in-ring cage post-fight live with Dave and Fight Bananas. So chuck it, guys.
Someone told me this week, I don't want to throw the champ's name out there, but they told me that one of the champs has been denied tickets at another fight, like that they request for tickets and were denied tickets. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make me feel as bad that I got denied tickets.
Dricus Duplessis got booted out of Miami.
My manager told me at lunch yesterday that I guess one of their fighters didn't know that that you have to wait for them to respond. He thought that like if you request tickets, that means you have them. And he showed up to the event. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. So it's tough, guys. The UFC doesn't give out tickets very easily.
But I will say this.
And you can have as many tickets as you want.
I will say this. If Dakota Ditrova wants to go to the show, she'll be there front row Saturday night for the UFC pay-per-view to sign the dotted line of their future contract. All right, I'm done. I'm done with Dakota. G, you're the best. I know you got Iowa. Trying to think. I want to figure out a date that we can we would love to do the live somehow with you inside the studio like the Dawsons are doing for our pay-per-view. I know it's super late too. It's way crazy past your time, but maybe a big pay-per-view, maybe a Dubai pay-per-view or something. That's during the day.
Day card.
Yeah, anything after my fight, I am down for. I'll have a good month or two where I'll be willing to leave my house. Until then, though.
Love it, dude. We got the Hard Rock right down the street in Daytona Beach. A little getaway, a little 2-day getaway for you and the boyfriend. I'm telling you, I like it. We'll set that up. But guys, Gillian Robertson, May 3rd, Iowa, Figueredo, and Corey Sandhagen on the card. Can't wait. G, we'll talk to you soon. All right.
I'll see you guys.
The great Gillian Robertson.
This would be awesome, by the way. I love Jens Pulver. I know you meant to say Jens, but that would be
on our show?
That would be so cool. If
Oh, we
anybody's
can do
got
that.
a contact for Jens Pulver, you let us know.
Dude, I think Sean O'Connell could set that up easy.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually fair. I'll message my BFF, Sean O'Connell.
Whoa. Relax, okay? Let me do this. So on Friday, it's you, Grant, and Jonathan, and I think Eddie for the PFL in Orlando, Florida.
Yes. I believe Eddie will be there. Yeah. Oh, my water's gone. That's sad.
Making a text.
Come on, David. People are waiting.
Hey, no. It's like the Saturday Night Live. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm feeling content.
Just a minute. Send him a message. I just don't know if he'll see it. Like most people will respond. It's just like whether they see your message or not. Like if they're not following you, a lot of times they won't get your DMs. Trust me, I try. I DM a lot of people to try and get them to do interviews, and I very rarely get responses. I be asking people in the gym every day. Kyoji Horiguchi is coming. He's my new project. We're gonna get Kyoji on our show.
Man, he might, dude. I would love to see him fight under the UFC banner soon. That would be great.
Pretty dope. That would be cool.
What is there a fight that you're excited for to watch live, or is there? I will say this, guys, all the time. If I don't know how many people have been to an event live, and especially we're super lucky. I would assume even for some of the stuff in Kansas, like how there's nothing like being so close to the action, and even for us, the PFL was in a very small building, so like everything you saw and heard. It's just so cool to see fights live like that. It's great. There's nothing like that in the world.
Oh, for PFL, you're asking if I'm...
Yeah, just for in general, like just... I thought being there Friday night for the PFL was great.
It was really fun. I got to be honest, there's not as many fights that I'm excited for on this week's as last week's. I do really want to see Liz. I always enjoy watching her fight. Like, here's the bracket for the ladies.
Okay.
I am actually interested to see this Avsargova. I'm gonna butcher her name. Avsargova, Diana, the Russian girl. I think she's really talented. I think she's very young in the sport too. And I honestly am interested to see Watanabe versus Bishop, just because I think Kana is like one of the best straight wrestlers in like women's martial arts completely. Like, she is really good wrestling. She just hasn't always blended it into like her MMA as well. And then you have somebody who is a very top heavy jiu-jitsu fighter like Jenna Bishop, where I don't think Jenna typically tries to fight off her back, which I like from a jiu-jitsu fighter. So I'm interested to see who gets the takedown and who dominates the grappling exchanges, because they're both really talented grapplers. I was the most excited, to be honest, out of this bracket. I was the most excited to see Juliana Velasquez and Taila Santos fight, just like Liz said earlier today. But unfortunately, we won't be seeing that. I think Leandro Higo is a really exciting fighter. Last time I watched him fight was actually a while ago. He actually lost by submission to Danny Sabatello, one of our teammates. So that's why I had tuned in. But I think he's a fun fighter. And I'm interested to see how Jake Hadley does. I think typically when we see these guys, it's kind of hit or miss. We saw maybe Shane Burgos leave the UFC maybe a little too late to do really, really well with the PFL.
Actually out of all the guys, I thought he actually is the one that didn't leave after his prime. I actually thought that.
Yeah, maybe not. I expected to see him do a little bit better, and so I'm interested to see a guy like Jake Hadley, who I think is still very young, very talented, and exciting. Like, he hasn't had a lot of boring fights, even in his UFC career. So I am interested to see that. Do we think the right fight got moved up?
No, actually, that's a great question, Sean. I appreciate this. I'm going to say no, because I don't know what I would have loved if Chase Hooper and Jim Miller got the opening on the pay-per-view. I thought that would have been awesome. I thought that would have been really cool.
Are we talking about PFL? Because they moved Liz Carmouche to the. Is that what he's talking about?
I'm sorry. Well, it's not a pay-per-view. I thought he was talking about the UFC.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Sean, make sure you put in UFC if I'm right.
When did they move it?
Well, remember when Pratis got out of it with
right
and Ian Gary, they moved Dominic Reyes and Krylov.
No, you're right. Okay.
Which is a good fight. Jim Miller, like Hall of Famer legend, Chase Hooper on the rise. But it's my take.
But neither Jim Miller nor Chase Hooper are like, they're not ranked.
No, I agree.
So it's like, I feel like it makes more sense to put the ranked 205ers in,
Yeah.
It's Jim Miller's always a great draw, but I don't know that that's a fight that can contend on this pay-per-view with Miller and Hooper.
No, I concur.
Honestly, Yan Chaonan and Verna is a high-level fight too. I understand why that one's not on the pay-per-view though.
Okay. Can we be real here for a second?
Or Ige and Woodson would have been good for the pay-per-view too. Go ahead.
What would have been?
Ige and Woodson. I wouldn't have been upset with that.
Dude, Woodson's fun. He's fun.
Like, if we're gonna go lower ranked fighters on the pay-per-view, like I think that makes more sense than
that's
Miller
a good one, Elle. I agree. I'm Diana Belbita just retired from the UFC just a couple hours ago. And guys, Elle has tainted my look into female MMA lately. There's been too much bad female MMA on the UFC screen. So I know it sounds bad. I'm very happy they're not putting Jan and Jindrova. And that might actually, out of all the fights, that's the one that probably deserves it to be on the main card. Remember last month was the younger Brazilian. Like it was such a bad fight.
No, it was Lemos and Lucindo was a horrible fight to have on a main card. And this, unfortunately, this fight has the makings to be boring. It could be really fun because Yan Chaonan is a really exciting striker and Verna is going to need to wrestle like crazy. But if Verna gets her down early and just controls her, I could also see it being a similar fight to that. Much higher level, I think, than the Lemos-Lucindo fight. But yeah, I understand why it's not on the main card. And I think I agree with you. I think they need to be more careful about where they put these female fights. I think women need to earn their place in the UFC just like all these male fighters do. And Jillian has been very vocal about this as well. Like on the Sunday morning show, we've talked about it. And she's like, I think it should be more difficult to keep your job and the UFC should only have the best of the best. And I'm starting to agree. We need, and I think Yan Chaonan and Verna Jandrova are definitely in that conversation. They're both very technical, high-level fighters, but you got to put good fights on.
I think I like I said, I watch Sunday. I always love watching Sunday Morning Brew. Elle Dawson, Gillian Robertson. I did talk to, by the way, on off-air conversation on air. I did talk to G. I was like, hey, no show Sunday morning because I know you're going to be here and travel. And so I let G know that. So no Sunday Morning Brew this Sunday after the pay-per-view. We might do something different. Maybe me personally or maybe me and I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's going to be a long Saturday.
I have an idea. I'll tell you after.
Okay. Anyways, long story short, I heard you guys talk about like maybe like having 20 people per weight class. Right?
For
like
some weight classes.
Okay. And that's
you have to have more than 20 lightweights. You can't have 20 lightweights.
That's what I was going to say. That was my main thing. Everything in life, I say this all the time about speeding, about driving. There's opportunities for us Americans to drive 70 or 80 miles an hour. We can't do that around a school area. So there's other scenarios for other scenes. Lightweights, I think we even need some more lightweights. Sometimes they cut guys. I'm like, dude, this is a guy with a great future. Yeah. Featherweights, but there's some maybe a heavyweight, maybe female MMA. There should be some trimming of the fat of the roster, I believe.
No, I don't disagree. And if we've been watching the recent cuts, it looks like it's happening. Like we're seeing fighters get released, and some of them have been surprising, and some of them haven't been. And I think it's I don't think it's bad. It's only bad for the sport if we continue to have less shows outside the UFC. We need year-round contender series. We need year-round contender series. And all these guys that are like just not quite cut out for it, a year-round contender series would be perfect for them. Stick them in there, try to develop them. And if they can't develop, use them to develop somebody else.
Right.
Pay them enough money that it's worth it. It's worth it to fight for the opportunity to get pulled up into the UFC. Like the UFC, just they need their own feeder show.
I like it. They kind
Make
of
it happen. Make it happen. Hire me. Yeah, they've been cutting a lot more heavyweights. They used to you'd stick around for a long time. Yeah, the Woodson is an insanely tall 145er. I genuinely don't know how he makes weight so effortlessly. Like he doesn't have, I don't think he has like a terrible cut. Like it's not easy, but he seems to make weight pretty smoothly. And he's said he does in the past, but they make it happen, you know? Somehow he makes it happen.
Elle Dawson, I forgot. We have to play our game.
Oh, I love this game.
I think Dean might come on, but if not, 15 minutes left for the show. We love doing this for pay-per-views.
I love this game. This honestly is becoming my favorite part of the pay-per-view.
There we go. All right. So we're going to go UFC 314, guys. We have 8 categories. Elle Dawson will give us our answer. If you guys want to play in the comments, put your answer in the comments and we'll have fun and go back and forth. Elle, what fight are you most hyped about for UFC 314?
I am the most hyped for Jean Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Wow. I want to watch him die.
Wow.
Carry on.
Okay. UFC 314, what is a underrated banger fight?
Easy. Sumaderji versus Mitch Raposo.
That's the correct answer. That is the correct answer. At UFC 314, what is the guaranteed finish fight?
Guaranteed finish? Probably
I got the answer to this.
John Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Or Yair Rodriguez.
Yes, that's the answer. I'm telling you.
Those two.
Dude, I don't know. I can see Pitbull making that fight really grimy and slow in a way. If he wins, if he's winning.
Maybe. I think he gets finished.
Okay, Dean's coming on in 7 minutes. So
all right, let's finish this.
What fight at UFC 314 will go the distance?
Ooh, okay.
I got this answer too.
Krylov and Dominic Reyes.
Wow. Okay, that wasn't on my radar. I'm picking Volk and Lopez.
See, if Volk wins, yes. But if Volk loses, it's going to be by knockout.
Yair might shoot a masterclass. Dude, I love Yair Rodriguez. Love watching him live. Lopez Volk is a guaranteed fish. I'm the opposite. I think it goes all 5. Chandler and Batty. I think that was the best fight. Wow. All right. This is a tough one, I think. Who is the lock of the card at UFC 314?
The lock of does it have to be on the main card?
No, of course not.
The lock of the card?
Yes, ma'am.
My lock of the card is Chase Hooper.
Wow. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I respect it. What is your underdog pick at UFC 314?
You know, I actually don't know who all the dogs are.
Volk's a dog. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Diego is the dog.
It's like Volk's a dog?
Nope.
I don't think.
You want me to give it to you?
Yeah, give me all the dogs real quick. I know the dogs on the main card, and I don't think any of the dogs are winning on the main card.
Wow.
What are the dogs on the prelims?
I'm going to my Hard Rock Bet app, who maybe one day is going to sponsor us. Dogs are Jim Miller, Darren Elkins,
Nope.
Haley Cohen,
Nope.
S.D. Dumas, Trayshawn Gore, Yan Shannon, Dan Ige, Pitbull, Dominic, Bryce, Chandler, Diego Lopez.
I don't think any dogs are winning. I think the dog with the best chance of winning is probably Diego Lopez.
What?
You think
Yan
Pitbull's
Xiaonan, I think, is a live dog.
she's getting out wrestled? I think
And
she's
dude, we
out-wrestled
love
right
Sean
now.
Woodson, but Dan Ige is a live dog.
Maybe. I'm taking Woodson here. I think the length of
I agree. I'm
boxing.
picking Woodson too.
How is Ige going to reach his head? He's going to get kneed in the face. I think Lopez is the best live dog. Wow. Or maybe Yan Xiaonan. But I think Verna's going to out-wrestle her. I don't think this is going to be a good night for the dogs, or I'm going to be wrong about everything.
Look at this. The great Caleb Patterson goes, I truly hope for Diego.
He
Lopez,
absolutely can get it done. But it is an insane.
I always go Ige versus younger fighters. He seems to humble them a lot. Ooh. Humble soup.
I like Woodson here a lot.
Okay. Wow.
This one's tough.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. On UFC 314, who is the biggest after UFC 314? Who is the biggest superstar?
Who is the biggest superstar?
Yep.
Patty or
That's
Gene
the correct
Silva.
answer.
Patty and John Silva are the biggest superstars after UFC 314.
You can only give us one answer.
Patty.
That's the correct answer. Come on. And Gene will be, I think, big in in our space, our MMA circle. But Patty is, he's crossing over to the mainstream, I believe. He's getting big. Oh my God. That is not the right answer.
Anybody picking him in this fight, it's such a bad matchup for him. If Lopez wins,
I was going to say Lopez has a shot.
Star of the century, but I don't.
This is a good one. At UFC 314, who is the prospect to watch?
Probably Diego Lopez or Gene Silva. Gene Silva. Let's take Gene Silva. I know I have to pick one. It's Gene Silva.
Diego Lopez has 32 fights. He's not a prospect.
Yeah, you're right. I had no clue he had that many fights before I wrote that article.
Savvy veteran. Savvy. All right. Two more for the great Elle Dawson. What fighter has the most to gain at UFC 314?
Diego Lopez.
You ready for this one?
Yeah.
I think the exact opposite. If Alexander Volkanovski wins this fight, you ready for this? Maybe polarizing. He goes down as the greatest UFC featherweight of all time. It's over. He's the greatest of all time. If he loses this fight.
But he already, that's why he has the most to lose. I don't think he gains that much. I think he already has that status.
No, it's definitely a debate. Max, Aldo.
I mean, no, Max is not in the debate against Volk. Volk beat him a bajillion times. The only person you can argue is Ilya, but Ilya didn't stay there long enough to cement the legacy that Volk has. So I feel like Volk still has this. He is still the darling of the 145ers. Like Diego Lopez has the most to gain.
Wow. Here's another one. I think Patty too, because if Patty loses this fight, I think everyone will be like, guys, we told, a lot of haters will be like, we told you. If he wins this fight, he's in that mix. He really is.
No, I mean, once again, I think it's a super favorable matchup. So I disagree. I think if Lopez wins, it shocks people and it absolutely projects him to stardom. I don't think this win does for Patty what you think it does.
Okay. All right. The last question of this great category game of UFC 314. What fighter has the most to lose Saturday night?
I think it's Volk. I think it's Volk and honestly probably Bryce Mitchell because he also might be losing his job.
But the correct answer is Michael Chandler. Volkanovski is locked in legacy forever. If Chandler loses, he might be in the GFL in 3 months.
I think so. I don't think they'll cut him. I don't think they'll cut him off this loss. I could be wrong. Like you said, they're trying to trim the fat, but the one place they haven't been trimming the fat is in the lightweight. The lightweight veterans are still there.
And I know this sounds really bad. How can a 2-5 fighter be in the rankings for the lightweights? How can Michael Chandler be ranked if he loses?
how can a 2-4 ranked fighter or 2-4 fighter be ranked? Like no, he shouldn't be as high as he is 100%, but here he is. So they'll just keep using him to build guys they like. And he'll sell the fight. He'll sell every single fight.
Yeah. Wow.
401k.
Chandler. What a great by the categories. Sponsored by good man, Sean. Good man. Dude, Florida Gators national champions. What's up? What's up? He's a full the seats guy.
I agree with Jordan here. I think Michael Chandler puts butts in seats no matter how bad his UFC record gets, and the UFC knows that.
El, can you bring up the Saturday picture, the watch along, real quick? I'm sorry to put that pressure on you.
You didn't send it to me. Or you did send it to me, but you didn't send it to me telling me you wanted it for this. So, I mean, give me 2 seconds and I'll get it.
Oh man.
It was not
great.
prepared.
The great Elle Dawson, guys.
It was not in the original.
It wasn't. I am
I actually
way
don't actually think I have. Did you send it to me and Grant or just to me?
you and Grant.
Oh, that's why. I'm looking in the wrong text thread. Boom.
And I apologize, guys, for the Molly McCann mix-up. Oh no, Elle.
What?
Just go to me and you. Me and you. I sent you the wrong.
I got it already.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Just give me a second. I have to add it. There it is. Look how good we look.
Dude. Saturday night, guys. Telling you. Massive giveaways. Terrence McKinney signed gloves. Mosarv signed gloves. We might have Grant do something. Maybe Jillian. We'll figure it out. Massive.
Signed pictures of Dave getting beat up by Grant and Jillian are on the docket.
I don't like trying to think what if I would grapple Grant, I don't even know what my strategy would be. It would just try to be as elusive as possible.
Run away.
Yeah, like just I'd be like a cheetah in the night. Very fast.
Are cheetahs faster at night?
That's a true story. You seen the new Mufasa movie?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't love the first live action Lion King. When you do a movie like that, everything is CGI, and it's too much CGI for me. It like takes me out of the magic of the story.
I very much agree with that. I agree. If it's going to be a cartoon movie, let it be cartoon. I just need to.
If it's all animals, like obviously there have been better, like Beauty and the Beast, great live action adaptation. I think liked the additional songs, love the casting, and the cast of The Lion King was awesome.
Yeah.
I like the music from Mufasa. I don't know. It's like it's too much CGI.
There you go. She's at the pub.
At the pub.
I can't believe, Jake, you broke the news. True story, guys. Molly, at the pub, drinking a couple of shorts.
What time did she think it was? What did you do, David? I'm just kidding.
Dave, we need you to be Marathon Mike in a grapple match would be much more fair. Oh, Mike, Coach Mike.
I support this. We should make that the preview for the watch.
I think I would do okay.
The preview for the watch along is going to be me refereeing Mike versus Dave.
Dude, my rear naked chokes. Jillian has taught me well. Young
These are better than the movies where they don't even connect. They're like this. That's my biggest pet peeve is when movies like don't connect their hands for chokes and pretend like it's a thing. I hate that.
Did you guys start watching Daredevil yet?
We have not.
Oh, so good. Guys, Daredevil back on Disney Plus. It's phenomenal.
This has been the most random show.
I know. Hey, Dean's got 3 minutes. We can't go,
Just bailing on us again.
He said he had a big call. Big call. Talking about that. So, Dean Toole, we got Island Fights, by the way, in 2 weeks over there at the Pensacola Bay Center. And then May 3rd, Off the Hook Boxing Series begins. It begins in Biloxi, Mississippi. But I'm hearing they will be doing some travel. We will be doing some different cities, like some Tampa's and Tallahassee's and Savannah, Georgia. Like, we're going to be doing some different spots. What time does the watch along start? I usually like Kayla. I like to go around like 9:45 to kind of like 9:30. Whenever the last fight of the prelims start, I like to kind of get the live going.
We'll be ready to go. We'll definitely be live by 10 p.m.
So. Yeah. 10 p.m. At least 5 to 6 fights.
We will be live for the entire pay-per-view. So anybody, if you guys can't get the pay-per-view, we will not show it to you on the screen. So don't ask us because we'll lose our Facebook. But we will give you live updates and play-by-plays, which I didn't realize how many people around the world can't get the pay-per-views, which is really sad.
No, people love it.
It should be more accessible for sure. We had people for UFC 300. We had people all over the world watching. It was really cool, honestly. Yeah, I don't know why I left that up so long. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, for like I said, the best one we ever did was the Islam versus Dustin. We had 1,000 people at once watching. It was cool. Very cool.
That's nuts. Ilya and Max, that card was really fun too. That was one I did by myself. I don't remember where you were, but that one was
Pensacola. I remember I was watching it. It was during the day.
Fun. Yeah, it was a daytime card.
Co-main event was Big Ink versus was it Jan? Dominic Reyes?
No. Yeah. Jan.
Well, actually, the co-main event was Chimaev beating Whitaker, but Ankalaev was on that card.
Yeah, I don't remember who he was fighting though. It's honestly the moment of the day was Ilya knocking out Max.
Yeah, of course.
That does nothing. They're still gonna. I know. People are always gonna ask us to show them the pay-per-views. I just figured I'd preface it in case there are any new watchers on now. Don't ask. I won't do it.
Got Musarf signing the glove. Terrence McKinney.
Giving that away. Now I feel like we're stalling for Dean.
The Blue Man Group. Dean's got one more minute. We're rolling. All right, my last picks, guys. I'm just gonna put it all out there. I'm going with Alexander Volkanovski, Michael Chandler, Lord Gene Silva.
What about
Yair Rodriguez? And I'm going to go with the underdog. My underdog pick of UFC 314, the Dominator, Dominic Reyes. That's my 5. Reyes, Yair, Silva, Chandler, Volkanovski.
Let me see something real quick. Dominic Reyes. Give me 1 second, because I'm kind of on the fence about this fight. My issue is I want Dominic Reyes to win. I want him to, even when I don't think he will. So I want to look at one thing real quick.
Sure.
I don't know, because
we got all day.
Ryan Spann lost to Krylov, but beat Reyes. Lost to Paul Craig. Reyes isn't going to wrestle, though. I don't know. Okay. All right. My main card picks. I'm going to go with Volk, Patty Pimblett, Yair Rodriguez, Gene Silva. I'm going to take Krylov.
Okay. So okay. You ready for this?
I'm
taking 2. Huh?
Oh, so it's a slight lean to Krylov.
Okay. And Krylov is the betting favorite, right?
Yeah.
So I will do this.
I'm not picking an underdog.
No, L. Okay. I will take both underdogs, and we'll do that bet if we split, nothing happens. But if your Krylov and your Patty wins for 10 minutes on next week's show, I will wear the banana hat.
Only 10 minutes?
How long you want me to go for?
No, it's fine.
30 minutes?
I think you should have to wear it for the whole first hour.
1 hour?
Well, hey, I'll wear it for an hour if Reyes and Chandler win. I'll wear it for an hour.
But the thing is, next week's show, I don't know if we're allowed to say, Mohamed Mokaev will be coming through, and maybe another UFC fighter.
That's true.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting so many texts.
You have to wear the banana hat for the other guest, not Mohamed Mokaev. But you have to wear the banana hat for the other guest. And if
the one that she trains at American Top Team?
Yes. You have to wear the banana hat for that. And then if I lose, I'll wear the banana hat for her interview.
Wow. It's sometimes it's so bad when we cut up the footage and we look like Donkey Kong out here, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll think of something fun. We'll live
Dave's
Saturday. You ask me anything you
guys.
want, I'll say yes.
Dave
But
is
guys,
a
I'm going with the
cheater.
Dominator and Chandler. I'm old school. All right, I go with the old school fighters. I don't like these new whippersnappers. Okay, that want to come through. And
Krylov is a whippersnapper.
He's younger than Reyes. Am I
Is
wrong?
he is 32. Yeah, he's younger than Reyes. Reyes is older than that. Reyes is 35. I mean, honestly, not by much.
All right.
I think he has more.
Can we announce what's happening tomorrow at 1 p.m.?
Oh, yes. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., we will be live again with Bo Nickel,
Bo Nickel's coming on the show?
The show. Dave and I will be chatting with him at 1 p.m. Eastern. So be here. Sub to the YouTube so you don't miss it.
So wait, Liz Carmouche, Bo Nickel, Mohammed Mukayev, and a mystery big baby fighting for a world championship guest next week?
Maybe so. Maybe so. And which Dave will be wearing a banana hat. And why are we not picking the prelims?
Dude, Dave, you don't need to worry about that, dude. It's growing on me, guys. I like it.
Yeah, now that you shaved your face, I like it. Maybe. All right. Who do you? Okay, are you taking Woodson over Ige?
Yes.
Okay, and you're taking Yan Xiaonan over Verna?
Yes.
I'm gonna take Verna and Woodson. We're both taking Chase Hooper over Jim Miller, right?
Yes. I think it's closer than what you're like on the lie. Jim Miller, come on, he's a grizzly vet, tough as nails.
The Bobby fight. And Chase looked so good against Slava Claus, who's a good striker.
No, I agree with you, but I think Bobby's more dangerous than Chase. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Chase was hurting Slava on the feet.
Yeah, dude. Do you see Chase is ripped now?
He improved a lot, and he's starting to like come into his man body.
Yeah, he's drinking all that juicy juice.
Hang on. I think Chase over Miller. Who do you have? Juliana Rosa versus Darren Elkins.
I love this fight. It's actually probably the most underrated fight we haven't talked about all week.
That might be the underrated banger, actually.
Juicy J will win Saturday night. I'm throwing some shekels on Juicy J.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think I could see him even finishing this fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Juliana Rosa is an underrated guy. Love Darren Elkins. He's a gem of the sport, and then I don't have picks for the early prelims. We did it.
Guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to Liz Carmouche and Gillian the Savage Robertson. I apologize. I take full blame on the Molly McCann time issue, but we'll talk to her very soon. Guys, Bo Nickel tomorrow night, Saturday night, Elle Dawson, Grand Dawson, live in this Fight Bananas studio in Daytona Beach, Florida, watching all the fights. Massive giveaways. Next week, Mohammed Mukayev and more. Going to be a good week here in Fight Bananas. We appreciate you. Also, Elle will be live in Orlando for PFL Friday night, giving us live updates, behind-the-scenes footage, maybe some more picks with Ian Parker. We'll see. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And we'll see everyone Saturday night. Elle, say something inspiring to the people.
Sub the YouTube channel so you don't miss the Bo Nickel interview tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern.
We're going to cut that up, make it a video. Have a